Hello everyone and welcome back to Chess with MNM. Today started the online tournament Legends of Chess on chess24.com between one of the top 10 players on the world, and also this tournament, there is a 3 world champion playing at this tournament. Magnus Carlsen, the world champion of 2013, and Viswanathan Anand, the world champion of 2008, I think, and also Vladimir Kramnik, the world champion of 2000. Okay, so this game which I will show you is the game one, or let's say the game two from the round one between the world champion Magnus Carlsen and Anish Giri. Okay, so let's see what happened between Carlsen and Anish Giri in this exciting game. Carlsen with the white pieces, Giri with the black pieces. Carlsen opened this game by d4, the queen's pawn opening. And okay, knight to f6 played now, c4, e6, knight to f3, and now d5 hitting the center. Knight to c3 played by Carlsen, and now bishop to b4 pinning this knight. Bishop to g5 as you pinning my knight, I will pin your knight too, and now h6, please move your bishop. Carlsen, he said, I will not exchange this bishop with this knight, so let's move our bishop back into the d2. Giri here simply castled, and here Carlsen played g4. And g4 is so beautiful and so strange move by Carlsen. Now what's the idea about this move? The idea is just opening some files on the king side to attack this king. I mean, if you capture here, example, knight capture on g4, then I have rook to g1, attacking the knight. When you move your knight away, then something like bishop capture on h6 will be possible with an attack on that pawn on the g7, and then he says that the white has a huge advantage here. So for this reason here, after g4, capturing on the g4 is not a good idea. So here bishop capture on c3 played, and now I don't want to make a double pawn on the c file, but however it's possible because you can capture then on the d5. But here Carlsen said no, I will recapture by the bishop, and I will put my bishop on this diagonal. Bishop capture on c3, and now knight to e4 played by Giri. Do you remember, Carlsen? You said I will not exchange this bishop with this knight. So let's develop our knight into the e4 square. Knight on the so strong knight on the e4 square, and also maybe at some point I will exchange this knight with your bishop. So here queen to c2. If you do that, then I will recapture by the queen to not destroy my pawn structure. And now c5 by Giri hitting the center. Okay. D capture on c5 played by Carlsen, and here Giri played a beautiful move, and it is b6. The idea here that if you capture, if you try to win a pawn, then simply I have queen capture on b6, attacking the pawn on the f2. If you try to play something like e3, then simply I can play d capture on c4, okay? And the black here has no problems. Bishop to b7 comes on this nice diagonal, knight to c6 also comes, and the rook, the rooks will come into the d file, and then he says that the position is equal, okay? And by d capture on c4, the black, takes back his pawn, okay? So here after b6, Carlsen said no, I will not capture and I will not activate his queen. And Carlsen, he simply pushed g5. Let's open some diagonals and let's open some files on the other side. Giri here captured h capture on g5, because here if you try to, if you allow it the black to capture, you'll destroy the king side. Example here, h capture on h6. I'm threatening pawn capture on g7. So if you play something like g6 now, I can push h4, h5, and the angel, he says that the white has a huge advantage because the king side get destroyed, and there is so strong pawn on the h6 square. So here Giri played h capture on g5. The idea here that the g5 closed by the black's pawns, and the h file closed by the white's pawns, and this is what Giri trying to do, okay? So here immediately Carlsen push h4. Let's open the h, or let's open the g file if you capture g capture on h1, on h4, sorry. So here Giri said no, I will keep the king side locked by g4, attacking the knight. And now knight to g5 played by Anish Giri. Now knight to g5, of course, capturing on the g5 will be a terrible blunder, because if you capture, then I will recapture by the pawn, and look at the queen and the rook attacking the square on the h7 square, and it's not easy to protect that square. If you push something like g6, then rook to h8 will be a checkmate. There is bishop controlling that square, and yeah, the engine, he says that the white's position is winning. So here capturing on g5 is not capturing on g5 is not a good idea to trying to win a pawn. by knight capture and then queen capture. So here f5 played by Giri. The idea now, I closed the diagonal, so maybe in the future I will be able to capture on the g5 to win a pawn. So here after f5, bishop to g2 played. Let's develop our bishop on this nice diagonal. And now b capture on c5 played by Giri. And here Carlsen castled on the into the queen side. And now Giri blundered. Giri here played a terrible blunder actually. And his knight capture on g5. Why this move was a blunder? Because here, after h capture on g5 and queen capture on g5, okay, with check, and king to b1, okay, Giri won a pawn. But the problem here, that look at the whitest pieces and look to the blackest pieces. This bishop is so active, putting a pressure on the g7 square. This rook on the h file, and I mean, this rook is so dangerously piece for this king. This bishop on the h1a diagonal, putting a pressure on the d5 square with the pawn, also with the rook, and also you are not able to push or to capture, because if you do that, then you will lose your rook for free. And the whitest piece is so active, while I mean, look at the blackest pieces. The rook and the rooks is so unuseful. The bishop and the knight also is so unuseful pieces. And the black here, the engine, he says that the white has a nice advantage at this position for that reason. So here after king to b1, okay, knight to d7, trying to developing the pieces or something like that, but here simply c capture on d5 played by by Carlsen. Knight to b6 now, attacking the pawn on the d5, so here d capture on e6 played, attacking the rook. I mean, the problem here that what you will do here, if you move your rook away, then simply you are so late. Bishop to e6 come, bishop to e5, sorry, come. Bishop to e5, I'm attacking your rook again. And how will protect that rook? No way to protect that rook. So here Giri said, okay, let's give him the exchange. We have nothing to do because we are so late about developing. Bishop capture on e6, bishop capture on a8, rook capture on a8, and here Carlsen said, now we are up on exchange, so let's go into the end game by queen to d2 and also by exchanging the queens. So queen to d2 offering our challenging that queen, and now queen to g6, I don't want to exchange the queens, and now queen to d6, putting a pressure on the bishop. If you move it, then I mean I will exchange the queens, and I mean the queen on the d6 is so active. So here f4 played with a check, and now king to a1. Anish Giri has nothing to do here. And here after king to a1, Anish Giri blundered a terrible blunder. I mean a terrible blunder, more than knight capture on g5, and it is rook to f8. Why this move is a blunder? Because here after rook to f8, now the white has a checkmate in 4. Pause the video for a couple of seconds and try to find that checkmate. Also, while you're pausing the video, there is like button below the video. Also there is subscribe button. In red rectangle, okay, inside the rectangle. If you click on these buttons, I mean I will appreciate this. And yeah, I mean however, you will not lose anything, so just click on it, okay. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, think about the move. If you found that move, or if you found the mate, congratulations, you are so good player. Because Magnus Carlsen unfortunately missed that mate, and Carlsen here played queen to e5. I mean, exactly what happened to Carlsen, I don't know, because it's not that hard tactic to find. Because here the tactic is so simple, and it's rook to h8 check. The idea is that if you play king to f7, then rook capture on f8 will be a checkmate. And if you capture that rook, then rook capture on f8 comes. And after king to h7, then rook to h1 comes. You have to block with the queen. And now queen capture on g7 will be a checkmate. You cannot capture by the queen because simply spinning with your king. But unfortunately, Carlsen, as we said, missed that idea, and Carlsen here played queen to e5. I mean, it's not that hard idea, but Carlsen's still a human, okay? And Carlsen, I mean, and also this game is rapid game, not a classic game, and I mean, for this reason, Carlsen unfortunately missed that idea, and Carlsen here played queen to e5. But however, the white here still has a huge advantage, okay? So here after queen to e5, putting a pressure on the g7 square. Also, I want to play queen to h5. G3 here, trying to make a passed pawn or something like that, but he's simply f capture on g3 played by Carlsen. And now knight to c4, attacking the queen. Queen to h5 here played by Carlsen. Let's exchange the queens, and here Anish Giri accepted that, because I mean, if you let this queen on the h5, it will be so dangerously queen on the h file, also on this diagonal on your king. So here queen capture on h5 played, rook capture on h5, and now knight to e3 attacking the rook. Rook to g1 played here by Carlsen, and now bishop to f5. I mean, the idea by this move is trying to play something like knight to c2 check, and then after king to b1 trying to make some discover on the king, but I mean, however, it's not that dangerously. But here Carlsen simply played b3, clearing the b2 square for the king. So here f capture on g3 played by Anish Giri, rook capture on g3 played, and now bishop to g4. If you capture my knight, then I'll capture your rook. So here Carlsen played so here after bishop to g4, Carlsen played rook capture on c5, and rook to f1 check played by Anish Giri, king to b2, and now knight to d1 check played by Anish Giri, king to a3, knight capture on c3, rook capture on, sorry, not rook capture, rook capture on g4 played here by Carlsen, and it was at this position that Anish Giri simply resigned this game because there is nothing to do here. The white here is up and exchange also one extra pawn. So yeah, I mean, this was the first video of Legends of Chess online tournament on chess24.com. Hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed this video, please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe. Also, you can check out my previous videos, and also you can check out my videos which I will show it. I will share it in the future about this tournament because I will cover it. And yeah, this is all what I want to say, and see you in the next videos.